Alright, so I'm going to talk to you about the history of psychology and how it comes from ancient Babylon through the Greek secret societies all the way on through the German secret societies in Bavaria to this day, including the French like the Marquis de Sade. So in 387 BC, Plato suggested the brain and mental processes are how the body works. Then you go on to 335 with Aristotle. Then 1774 AD, Franz Mesmer detailed his cure for some mental illnesses, called mesmerism, known as hypnosis. 1793, Philip Pinel released the first mental patients from confinement in the first massive movement for more humane treatment of the mentally ill. 1808, Franz Gall wrote the phrenology, the idea that a person's skull shape and placement of bumps on the head can reveal personality traits. That's the same year Johann Christian Reil coined psychiatry. 1834, Ernst Heinrich Weber publishes the perception law of just noticeable difference, known as Weber's law. 1848, Finnish Gaj suffered brain damage when an iron pole pierces his brain. His personality was changed, but his intellect remained intact, suggesting that an area of the brain plays a role in personality. Charles Darwin talks about survival of the fittest in 1859. 1861, Paul Broca discovered that the frontal lobe plays a key in language development. Galton in 69 argues that intellectual abilities are biological in nature. This is, the guy who coins the term eugenics. So notice the people that I've named so far are all a bunch of words. Carl Wemmick, the frontal lobe. Stanley Hall, American Psychological Association, the devil himself. G. Stanley Hall, a gangster cracker, the devil himself. William Wundt, okay, a complete Nazi fucking eugenicist, a complete fucking scumbag who predates Hitler. The University of Psychology in America, Johns Hopkins University. Hermann Ebbinghaus, the syllable to study the memory process. Sigmund Freud, personality theory. 1890, mental tests. 1890, Galton again. Intelligence studies, correlation between interrelationships and intelligence studies. 1890, William James, principles of psychology. 1892, American Psychological Association, headed by G. Stanley Hall, the white supremacist. 1895, Alfred Binet. 1896, John Dewey, another white supremacist. 1896. 1898, Edward Thorndike, The Law of Effect. 1900, Sigmund Freud, psychoanalytical thought. Okay. 1901, the British Freemasons found the British Psychological Society based on Semiramis's principles, and I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to prove to you beyond any doubt psychology and psychiatry killed Trayvon Martin more than Zimmerman did. We go on. 1906, Ivan Pavlov, classic conditioning. That's what Zimmerman was. He was conditioned wood who was mixed with Hispanic, who lived in a white neighborhood, who practiced psychology and social isolation of minorities and marginalizing minorities. That's what they practice. They practice discrimination, and it has to do with psychology. We go on. The IQ test, William Stern. We go on. Max Wertheimer, John E. Watson, Carl Jung, the fucking scumbag, white supremacist, like Joseph Campbell, Stanford Binet. We go on. Robert Yerkes, John B. Watson. Okay, 1925, Wolfgang Kohler, The Mentality of Apes, as he compares blacks to apes and whites to a master race. Anna Freud, related to the other Illuminati Sigmund Freud fucking scumbag. Okay, Walter B. Cannon, Jean Baguette, Henry Murray, Egas Moniz, all of them white supremacists pushing the ideas of psychology. Carl Rogers, The Journal of Clinical Psychology, 1945. Eric Erikson, Hans Eysenck, B.F. fucking Skinner, known white supremacist, talked about in the documentary Maafa, the eugenics on the black race, especially in America. The Code of Ethics is completely ignored in 1953. 1954, Abraham Maslow. 1957, social psychology becomes coined, Leon Festinger. 1961, John Barry, Carl Rogers, Alfred Bandura, Morality and Development, Lawrence Kohlberg, 1963, 1967, Eric Beck. Of all these white people I just named, 97% of them are white supremacists. Doesn't that bother any of you? Doesn't that bother any of you? That since fucking Babylon, psychology was developed by secret societies who belong to the white power structure, and white supremacists and eugenics took the flame from them. We go on, the DSM-4, 1994. They still haven't had it right. They revised it 4 fucking times by 1994, and they still didn't get it right. 1995. The U.S. military psychopharmacology company, okay? Meaning that they have a whole military industrial complex pushing psychopharmacology. You understand me? A whole fucking military program on record, 1995, and they're prescribing medication through that military program, which, you guessed it, targets blacks for elimination. 1995, 1997, Deep Blue, the supercomputer, starts going after artificial intelligence, Kasparov, chess players, white supremacists. 1998, E-therapy. 99, Guam. 2002, New Mexico becomes the first state to pass legislation allowed licensed psychologists to prescribe psychotropic medication. So, they're allowing the psychologists who worship semi-fucking-Ramis on record to prescribe eugenics pills. That was from PsychNet, I believe, .org, the timelines, the psychology. Now, this is from psychclassics.yorku.cal, Christic, Marlock.htm. It starts off by talking Rudolf Gluck, 1547 to 1628. By his, and I quote, by his philosophic attitude, he belonged to the so-called, quote-unquote, semi-Ramis, on record. That is the name of the group, semi-fucking-Ramis, the whore that rode the beast. The reason why there's a feminist fucking movement goes back to Semiramis in Babylon. That's their precious fucking queen. That's their example that women should be equal. The devil, Lilith, whore herself. So, you get Pierre de la Ramée, Petrus Ramus, the Ramists. Now, Semiramis played a key role in the very development of psychiatry and psychology. Psychology was not even coined as a term before Semiramis, and her principles of controlling the minds of men were already being applied by Plato, Aristotle, and Alexander the Great, who died in Babylon. Duh! He died in Babylon because he's following the fucking psychological philosophy of Semiramis. Semiramut. Read a fucking book. I have. I've studied psychology and psychiatry for 20 plus fucking years. And I haven't found a single correct diagnosis of a mood disorder in 20 years of research. Thank you.